That is 5 straight wins for the Detroit Tigers, thanks to a comeback victory on Tuesday night. We'll talk about that and more all today on Locked On Tigers.
You are Locked On Tigers, your daily Detroit Tigers podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another edition of Locked On Tigers. I'm, of course, your host, Scott Bentley. Today is Wednesday, July 9th, 2025. Thank you so much for making Locked On Tigers your first listen every single day. We are free and available wherever you get your podcasts, including YouTube, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. What a great day. What a fantastic ball game we get the pleasure. How lucky are we to talk about on this fine Wednesday? The Tigers win 4-2 over the Tampa Bay Rays at home. That is a series victory. It moves the Tigers to 59-34. I can't even believe those words just left my mouth. I'm still absolutely in awe. 59-34. They are 25 games over 500, and it is not even the All-Star break yet. Like I said, a series win. That's also 5 straight wins. And if they win today, as you listen to this, that's 2 consecutive series sweeps, which obviously will be 6 games in a row. Awesome, man. My first thought, that was an awesome baseball game. That is a game that Tigers teams of the past absolutely do not win. Grinding out at bats. I was fully prepared to watch a loss in like the 4th inning. I was fully prepared. And I was going to be like, okay with it. And I was like, okay, we're still going to be 23 games over 500. Still have a chance to win the series. Pepio's really good. Like, I kind of just like accepted it in the 4th inning. And this team just continues to prove everybody wrong over and over and over again, myself included. Down 2-0 in the 4th inning with the Rays bullpen looming and Pepio obviously still on the mound, who's one of the better pitchers in the American League. And this Tigers team just doesn't go away. Great at-bats to raise the pitch count. I know, they get them for 2 runs in 6 innings. That's not like going to win you any records and be a headlining offensive performance or anything, but they raised the pitch count, continued to apply pressure, and eventually the seal broke. They had 6 walks in this ball game and 3 hit by pitches. 2 of those, Matt Vierling. 1 was Dylan Dingler, got hit in the face. That he got hit in the plastic shield protecting his face, I should say. Stayed in the game. What an absolute dog. Catcher's supremacy. But that is 9 base runners, not even including hits. We haven't even talked about the hits yet. And that's 9 base runners just off walks and hit batsmen. That is how you grind out at bats, continue, like I said, to apply pressure the entire game. And that's what this team does. And look, sometimes they go out there and they get shut out. Whatever it was, they score like 4 runs in a 3-game series. Sometimes they can't get the big hit to get them over the hump. But they go in with a game plan, and more often than not, they execute that game plan. And then this bullpen that has been so solid and consistent over the last calendar year for them takes the lead late in a ball game against a playoff caliber team and absolutely dominates. Bullpen only allowed 1 base runner. And it was the Chandler Simpson single with 2 outs in the 9th inning that ultimately didn't lead to anything. Just an awesome, professional, incredible win. What went right? That would be Colt Keith. He is awesome. It's so cool to see the improvements and the adjustments happen in real time, right? This is a guy that absolutely mashed the minor leagues. Okay, I'm talking at a level that we maybe have like not seen. I should say that I have not seen in my lifetime in the Tigers organization. It's legitimately, it's like Riley Green, Colt Keith, and I guess if you want to go like way back, like Nick Castellanos, like that, we have not seen pure offense. There have been position players that have been decent, not really in the Dombrowski era. He kind of just traded them all away because that's what Dombrowski does. But like Granderson, obviously, right? Like there have been players. Colt Keith, pure offense, kind of above everybody. And then he got to the majors, and there wasn't that big explosion. 2 for 3, 3 RBI, and a walk in this ball game. Obviously hits the big home run. He is now hitting 269 on the season with an 800 OPS. On May 1st, he was hitting a $181 with a 580 OPS. That is over 28 games. That is 28 games with an over 1,000 OPS. His OPS is over 1,000, and that's almost a month sample size. Well, games, it's 28 days. Days, it is a month sample size of an OPS over 1,000. He's been absolutely unbelievable, and seeing him go from that minor leaguer that was mashing, he had a cycle with 2 homers in the minor leagues at one point, like just headlines every day for his offense, and then there wasn't the big explosion, and then now, hopefully, now you're seeing that finally come to fruition. Hits an absolute tank in a tie ball game in the 7th inning to give the Tigers the lead. Zach McKinstry, also absolutely awesome. Did strike out on 3 pitches with the bases loaded, which was not a very good at bat, I will admit. However, played third base today. He played right field and had an outfield assist the game before that, and played first base the game before that. Like he played third base today, played a really good third base as he always does, had 2 walks and had 2 stolen bases. He is the man. He is so valuable to this team. 817 OPS, 283 average, has 13 steals now on the season. Unbelievable stuff, man. Shout out Zach McKinstry. Get him in the All-Star game. As like, you can name him a utility player. He doesn't have to be, there's a few, like Springer deserves it. We talked about that a little bit yesterday. There's a handful of players but get Zach McKinstry in there. Awesome stuff. Let's talk Jack Flaherty, who I thought had a really solid performance in this one. We'll do that right after this. Got to talk to you today about our friends over at Open Phone. If you're running a business, you know that every missed call is money left on the table. Think about the last time you had a service emergency like a burst pipe. If the first plumber didn't answer, did you wait? No, you called the next one, right? That's why having a reliable business line is so important. And that's why you need Open Phone. Open Phone is the #1 business phone system that helps you streamline and scale customer communication, all from an app on your phone or computer. If you juggle 2 or more phones to keep business and personal calls separate, well, Open Phone has solved that instantly. Your whole team can share one number and respond to customers like a shared inbox, and there's no more, who's handling this or who's handling that. There's also an AI agent that handles after-hour calls, answers common questions, and captures leads, so I never miss a customer ever again. Open Phone is offering Locked On Tigers listeners 20% off of your first 6 months at openphone.com/LockedOnMLB. That's openphone.com/LockedOnMLB. If you have existing number with another service, Open Phone will also port them over for no extra charge. Open Phone, no missed calls, no missed customers. All right, everybody, welcome back here. Segment 2, Locked On Tigers. Appreciate you all for tuning in, as always, making us your first listen every single day. Shout out to the everydayers that do tune in every day, and we will, of course, be back tomorrow recapping the series finale against the Tampa Bay Rays and, of course, anything else that happens in the Tigers organization. Today, we're talking about a 4-2 victory over the Tampa Bay Rays at home to secure yet another series victory and win the Tigers' 5th consecutive ball game. Jack Flaherty goes 6 1/3, 7 hits, 2 earned runs, 1 walk, 8 strikeouts, and 1 home run against. His ERA is now down to 4.7 on the season. This was a really solid outing. The first 3 innings, we'll call it, I think were pretty rough command-wise. The first inning, certainly. He allowed base runners pretty consistently there in those first 3 innings, but was able to walk away from that with just the 2 runs against. And the biggest thing was it wasn't inefficient. He didn't have, 90 pitches through 3 innings. The Rays were going up there and looking to do damage. And to be fair to them, they did. But the second half of his outing was really solid. The fastball was much better. I'm not sure what, the change that was made, if there was a change that was made, but he started pumping that thing 94 there in the 4th, 5th, and 6th inning. The biggest thing in this outing, however, and I want to make this abundantly clear, his curveball was the best I have seen it all calendar year. That was a masterclass of a performance. Unbelievable knuckle curve from Jay Flair in this game. If you look at one of our favorite stats from back in the day here that we don't talk about as much anymore, and we should because it's a fun stat, is CSW percentage for pitchers. Called strikes plus whiffs, and it's the percentage of that. So it's basically, to put it in much simpler terms and much less scary terms, it's literally just the amount of times that a pitch is a strike out of all the times it was thrown in a game, the amount of times that it's a strike, excluding foul balls. So his curveball in this game had a CSW percentage over 50%. I want to say it was 52 or 54% in this game. That is that's like really good for any pitch, especially a non-fastball. To have a breaking ball that over half of all of them that were thrown in a ball game were a strike of some capacity is really impressive. And that is what he saw in this ball game. So tip of the cap, hopefully, he entered the 7th inning, right? 6 1/3. If he doesn't give up that single there, he probably is left in the game even longer, and maybe even has a chance to go 7 still, even given how the start of the game was for him. So hopefully this is, turning a corner. I've said that a few times this year. It hasn't been the case. So we'll see. I'm not going to, buy too hard either direction right now. I guess that would be buying or selling then, not buying in 2 different directions. Either way, I'm not going to be too reactionary to it, but this outing specifically was really good. And in-game adjustments are important and something that he showed that he obviously still has. And we've known that about him for a couple of years now. So, yeah, solid outing. Really solid outing. Spencer Torkelson, really solid at the plate as well. Gets on base 3 times, has 2 walks and a homer off of Papio. His OPS on the season is now up to 842. And again, he's another, we talk about being, too reactionary. He's another guy. He was so good in the first couple of months of the year, and then June came and his numbers weren't as good, and a lot of people started freaking out, and now his numbers are really good again over the last 2 weeks. Let's just see. He has 21 home runs before the All-Star break. Let's just see. Fantastic day. His at-bats were very, very competitive. I thought he was seeing the ball really well. That, not a mind-boggling take there. Gets on base 3 times and hits a homer. The bullpen in this game, I sung the praises of them earlier in this episode, but they only allowed combined 1 base runner, and it was with 2 outs in the 9th inning, and it was a single that didn't really matter. Tommy Kahnle gets the 7th instead of the 8th. That's definitely a righty-lefty thing on Hinch's part. 2.84 ERA, has a perfect inning. Tyler Holton, though, this is the biggest thing for me because so he has one inning of perfect ball. His ERA is down to 3.68. This is now again another outing where he's looked really good. Had a great defensive play in this game as well. My biggest take here that I want to drive home. I don't think that the version of Tyler Holton from 3 weeks ago, we'll call it, gets the 8th inning. I think that Hinch probably looks around and goes, you know what? Canley's throwing that changeup, whether it's a righty or lefty on the mound. We're just going to have Canley go 8, Vest go 9, and call it a day. And we'll, match up ball the 7th inning. Instead, he is able to go, you know what? We're going to have Canley up in the 7th. Then we're going to use Tyler Holton against guys that aren't as good against lefties in a high leverage 8th inning spot because he's back. And then we'll obviously go Vest in the 9th. And I think that his improvements that he has shown lately have led to or did lead to the decision to give him the 8th inning in this one, along with it being situational. You see what I'm saying? Like it's both. And that's awesome because then the Tigers aren't pigeonholed into just an 8th inning guy and a 9th inning guy. They give a little bit more flexibility for Hinch. And obviously he thrives under those situations. Holton, don't need to tell you all, literally a reliever that got an MVP vote a year ago is incredibly valuable to this team when he is on. So good to see him get another good start under his belt. So yeah, what went right? Pretty much everything, dog. Like pretty much everything. It was a fantastic performance by this baseball team yet again. What went wrong? Not much. At first, similar to yesterday, maybe you're thinking, the offense against Pepio, like they could have done more. I don't subscribe to that really. Like this is a premier arm, and the Tigers got him for 2 runs in 6 innings and were patient enough with 3 walks against him to get and a hit batter to get him out of there through 6. Like I will gladly take that. Gladly. The only thing that I think is probably fair to put in the side of things that went wrong, and we'll kind of give, Parker Meadows will kind of catch a stray here, even though he did not play in this ball game, is the at-bats from Matt Vierling tonight. And the reason I bring up Parker is because I think you can kind of lump them together in the sense that they both were very valuable parts to what this team did a year ago. And both got injured in spring training, missed a lot, if not all of spring training, missed the first month and a half to 2 months of the season, now are still trying to find their kind of sea legs again. Vierling was late on every fastball he was thrown. I know he got on base twice, but those were 2 pitches that hit him in the elbow. Like that's not like working an at bat. He was extremely late on every fastball that was thrown to him in this game. And so both of them kind of being in that similar boat. I'm still not really like worried, quote unquote, about either, to be completely honest with you. I think Parker's been hitting the ball a little bit harder lately. We also have seen like Parker got off to a really slow start last year and then turned it around. Like I think this is more a product of the weird year that they have had in that sense and missing so much time to start off the season. But in the same breath, you have to put the best guys out there every single night. And if you have other players that can play center field that are not named Vierling or Meadows, then that's going to make those decisions a little bit, you can be a little bit more, I guess I'll say aggressive with your roster moves because you have Javi who can play center. You have Wenceel Perez who can play center if needed, right? So we'll see. I think they'll be fine. Again, I am not really worried about them yet, but the clock is ticking. And, once we get into post All-Star break, and especially as we lead up to the trade deadline, that might become more of a topic of conversation of like, okay, like, do we need a center fielder at the deadline type of thing? But again, I only bring that up just to kind of have something to put in the side of things that went wrong in this game. I am very far from there. Okay, let's talk stuff. We'll do that right after this. Got to talk to you all about our friends over at FanDuel. Summer sports are in full swing, whether you're all about baseball under the lights, like we obviously all are here, golf on the green, or high stakes soccer action. FanDuel is the best way to make every game even more exciting. You're already following the action, so why not make it a little bit more thrilling with FanDuel? You can get in on the game while your friends are getting sunburnt at the beach. I've been using FanDuel to track my favorite matchups for a while, and the app keeps it fresh with new daily promotions and fun ways to bet. Whether I'm placing a same game parlay or watching a bet right into the ninth inning, FanDuel makes it feel like I am a part of the action every day. And if you're new to FanDuel, new customers can bet just $5 to get $150 in bonus bets if your first bet wins. Open the FanDuel app today or visit FanDuel.com to get started. All right, everybody, welcome back. Your third and final segment of Locked On Tigers. Appreciate y'all for tuning in as always. Javi had kind of a giveth and taketh away game defensively. Had one incredible play early where he went deep into the hole, is on the outfield grass, throws it, one hops it to Torkelson. Who was that? Was that Yandy Diaz running to first base? And then he had another play where I appreciate it because I actually did think that the runner, whoever that was, I forget, overran first base and he had a chance to get him. Just threw to the wrong side of the base and completely airmailed it, sent it to the dugout, and gave up an extra 90 feet. But didn't matter. Tigers win. All good. Just kind of like throwing errors have always been a thing with Javi. But you're seeing that he is still so valuable defensively when he's not sending the ball into the second row. Also, something I found really cool in this game, Riley Green, so he goes 0 for 4 with 3 strikeouts, but Chris Brown of Tigers Minor League Report, Motor City Metrics, etc., part of a lot of a great kind of must follow on Tiger social media. Great dude as well. He tweeted out that fly out Green had to right field was the hardest hit ball of the year by a Detroit Tiger. Over 115 miles an hour off the bat. And second and third hardest hit balls of the year for the Tigers are both Riley Green. So again, a testament to how much talent and potential he is still oozing with as he enters another all-star appearance, but enters as a starter this year. Really, really cool. One of the coolest stories of this game, if not just straight up the coolest, was something the broadcast brought up. And that is that Wenceel Perez had his parents in the crowd watching him, and it is the first time they have ever seen him play a Major League Baseball game in person. And that is the kind of stuff that will just make a grown man cry. That is the coolest thing ever for them to be able to finally see all of his hard work pay off and get them here and get them in a position where they can watch him play and watch him go to work. He is such a fan favorite here and kind of burst onto the scene last season. And it's just awesome, man. That's what baseball is all about. That's what sport is all about. And yeah, I hope that they're here for maybe like the whole week or something. I don't know. It'd be cool to see him, get a hit or a home run with them in the crowd. But they had mentioned, like they asked him about it, right? And then he had told Benetti that, the day that he gets to play in front of his family, in person is going to be one of the biggest and most important days of his life. And it's really cool that he's a Tiger and we as fans of the Tigers got to share that very special moment with him and his family. So tip of the cap to Wenceel Perez and the Perez family. Awesome moment on Tuesday night. What a night. What a night. Also, not even on the major league field. What a night for the organization. So the Big Three made their debut down in Double-A Erie, and they already had a really solid lineup with a lot of potential in it. So that lineup was tweeted out. I'm not kidding. That has to be one of the best minor league lineups is it ridiculous to say ever? Like, I don't want to be so like hyperbolic all the time, but because I am. Listen to this: Max Clark, Byron Lorenzo, Kevin McGonigal, Max Anderson, Jose Preseno, Jake Holton, Justice Bigby, Roberto Campos, Jim Jarvis. Like, that has to be one of the best Double A lineups in the history of Double A baseball, does it not? Maybe not. Maybe everybody in this lineup sucks, and like 6 years from now, we're gonna laugh at that comment. But like right now, that is about as dynamic of a minor league lineup as you're gonna find across really any level of the minor leagues. And it's in the Tigers organization, and that is pretty darn cool. After 20 years of zero minor league farm system, having a really good one is a new weird feeling, and it's a really fun one. Injury update before I send you off on your Wednesday here. The Tigers put out there. Usually it's I don't know. It's kind of an inconsistent. It was weekly, then it was bi-weekly, then it was like kind of monthly. And now I think it's back to weekly. Alex Lang had a setback, and that is very frustrating and sad. I'm sure it is for him as well, because it's not like a separate injury where it's just like, oh, he's recovering from a lat injury and he like tweaked a hamstring or something. No, it was the lat, and that is concerning and frustrating. And like I said, I'm sure it is for him as well. So we'll see. They're going to shut him down. I'm sure they'll run tests and whatever. But hopefully it's nothing major, because this bullpen desperately needs swing and miss, and no one in the organization gets swing and miss like Alex Lang when he is even remotely near the strike zone. So he would have been a really nice addition to this team in the second half. But we'll see if that is going to be an option for them. Also, Alex Cobb receives another injection. I think this one in his hip. I have no clue. I'm really not sure that he's going to pitch a single inning for the Detroit Tigers. We'll see. We'll see. It's a 1-year deal, whatever. But yeah, certainly going to be frustrating if that is the case. Again, I'm sure it's going to be for him, Alex Cobb as well. And then Jose Urquidy is not like close to a rehab start, or not close, but he is going to be doing a lot more rehab in Detroit. The coaching staff said that it was important for him to do work around the team and make him feel like he is a part of the team, and not have him be away from the clubhouse and the locker room and whatnot, because he's going to be a piece that they use down the stretch when he's healthy. And it's important that he, understands and feels like he is, a part of this unit already. So I kind of like that as well. Let's go for a sweep. Reese Olson against Zach Liddell. It would be not only a sweep, but it would be your 6th win in a row, and you would be the first team in Major League Baseball to 60 wins. They were the first team to 50, 40. Were they the first to 30? Man, what a season. I can't even believe that's even like a question. Oh, I can't even remember. Were we that good already? Thanks for making Locked On Tigers your first listen every single day. Shout out to the everydayers that do tune in every day. And we will, of course, be back tomorrow recapping that series finale. Appreciate you all. Peace and love. Going to therapy's dope. I'll catch y'all then, baby. Go Tigers.